Hey, howdy, hey, Hopper Crew.
We're back at Disneyland for another learning adventure. What are we up to today, Mr. Hopper?
Well, I have always wondered how long Main Street USA is. So we're going to show you a way to measure it.
How are we going to do that?
Well, we're going to have to go back in time to another Mr. and Mrs. Hopper to explain how.
Well, why don't you hop back and pass with us and let's find out. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Hopper here from the past.
Well, before we can measure Main Street, we have to look at some measuring tools. So we have some here we're going to look at and see which one's going to work best for measuring.
Sounds good, Mr. Hopper. Let's take a look. All right, Mr. Hopper. I have my ruler. I'm ready to do this. Let's go.
Whoa.
What? I have my ruler.
A 12-inch ruler works great for measuring on a piece of paper or drawing a straight line.
Yeah.
But for measuring a long distance, that's not going to work. So let's take a look at some other tools that might be a little more handy.
All right. Well, you better show us because I only know about my beautiful blue ruler.
Well, there's a variety of measuring tools that we could use. You know, the ruler's 12 inches. We have a yardstick here. That's 3 feet. We got a tape measure here. That one's 30 feet. That's great. We have a wheel here that works really good for measuring really long distances, but they're not going to let us take this to Main Street USA. So I think we're going to use 100-foot tape to figure out how long our step is.
So we're going to take this to Disneyland?
Well, no, we're going to use it here in our driveway, and then we're going to figure out how big of a step we take. Then we can use our feet at Disneyland to figure out how long Main Street USA is.
Wow, that's a really long way. So we're going to measure using our feet.
Yep.
All right. Well, you're going to have to show us the way. Let's go do it, Mr. Hopper. Professor Marmalade is here to supervise and make sure we do this correctly. All right, Mr. Hopper, I think we're ready. How do we use our feet to measure?
Well, what we're going to do is figure out what our pace is. And what a pace is how big is your step. When you take a regular step, how much distance do you travel? So what we did is we laid out a tape measure at 100 feet. And we're going to start here at 0, and we're going to walk all the way down to 100 feet to see how many steps it is. Now we want to make sure we do this a couple times, so that way we get a good average of what our pace is. So go ahead and take a walk with me, and we'll see how many steps it takes to go from 0 to 100 feet.
All right, average. That's a really good math vocabulary word. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, and remember, we're taking regular steps. We don't need to take goofy steps. Just regular steps.
Even Professor Marmalade's doing it.
All right, so here we go. We're going to start right here at 0, and we're going to take regular steps all the way down to 100 to see how many we have. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Mr. Hopper took 47 steps to get from 0 to 100 feet. Miss Hopper took 52 steps to get from 0 to 100 feet because her pace is smaller than my pace because she's shorter than I am. So now we're going to do it 3 more times so we get a good average. And now we're going to have to find some average, so we're going to have to do some math.
Oh no, not math.
I'm Professor Marmalade, and I wanted you to know that Mrs. Hopper was just joking. Math is fun and exciting.
All right, everybody, so we did our steps at home, and now we have to do the math. And so we're here in my classroom, and we're using the board here, and we're going to go through and do our math. So, again, we did the 100 feet 4 times. So my first time I did 47 steps, and 45, 45, and 46. So we're going to take those, we're going to add those up to 183. So that means in my 4 trips, I did 183 steps. We're going to divide that by 4 because we did it 4 times, so we can find the average. And that equaled 45.75. So that means my average was 45.75, my 4 trips down to 100 feet. Okay, so now we're going to take 100 and we're going to divide it by 45.75. And that's going to equal 2.185. But we don't need to go that far, so we're going to round up to 2.19. So my average is 2.19 feet per step.
So what does average mean? We'll pretend that 4 friends all had a different amount of cookies, and they wanted to share them with each other equally. So they counted up all the cookies, which added up to 12 cookies total, and divided by 4 because there's 4 of them, and it came out to be 3. So each friend gets to have 3 cookies. The number 3 is the number that's shared equally.
And now that all the math is done, there's only one more step, and that's to go to Disneyland and measure Main Street, USA.
It's time to go to Disneyland. Let's go!
Okay, we're all packed up and ready to go to Disneyland.
Back to you, future Mr. and Mrs. Hopper.
All right, so here we are at the end of Main Street, USA, and me and Miss Hopper are going to now walk down Main Street to count how many steps it is from here to the castle. So come along with us and see what we can find.
Let's find out.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we just walked down Main Street, USA, and it took me 216 steps. How'd you do, Miss Hopper?
It took me 248 steps.
So if we do the math that past Mr. and Mrs. Hopper taught you, I went 216 times 2.19, and that's going to equal roughly 475 feet down Main Street, USA.
All right, so Main Street, USA, Disneyland is about 475 feet.
Sounds good to me.
All right, we did the math. Good job, everybody.
475 feet is about the size of 1 1/3 football fields. Character question time. It's character question time. What was your favorite subject in school?
Well, we actually came to ask you a question.
Oh, really?
We did. So we're both teachers and we're on spring break. And I know you didn't go to school on Earth, but back on Asgard.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, what was your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I did like Asgardian history. It's true. My brother always slept through that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He never did very well in school.
No.
So there's that. There's also, of course, Mischief 101.
I was wondering if Mischief was your favorite. You were very mischievous during school.
It was wonderful. It was an elective, of course.
Of course, of course.
I excelled at it, obviously.
Obviously.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank
Really
you.
discovered who I was,
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one ever asked about my Asgardian education, Finally, someone cares.
Teachers. It's what we do.
Teachers,
It's what we do.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Loki. Thank you so much.
course.
So let's review the new vocabulary words we learned today. Pace. Pace is how fast someone or something goes. Average. Average means the number that is shared equally. And mischievous. Loki is very mischievous. He causes trouble and enjoys doing it too. Well, we had a lot of fun at Disneyland today, and we learned something new. We hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for hopping in with us today.
And remember, learning is a magical adventure.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.